Hello, friends. Welcome again to this interactive section for my friends online, especially for those who have been following our sections, the subscribers, those who have been sharing the channel, paying attention to those information we've been having. This morning, we're going to have a very interactive one with special guests. And these guests are also special friends to me. They are wonderful people to me. And before I talk about the topic we'll discuss or we'll interact on, so I will start with the ladies. They always say the ladies first. So let's give preference to the ladies.
Usually.
Yes. So let's start with Amal. Amal, please, can you just give a brief introduction about yourself?
Of course. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much for this chance, Mr. Andrew.
You're welcome.
My name is Amal. I am originally from Palestine. I'm a mother for 3 teenagers actually now. They are not kids anymore. I am originally a pharmacist. I've been graduated. I studied pharmacy in Egypt. I graduated in 2002. And now I decided to try a new thing, as they say. So I am enrolled at Galisham University in the Master of Economic and Finance. It's very interesting, actually, to try something new. And I'm so happy to be here and to meet you, Mr. Andrew, and all my friends. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Hammer. Thank you for your time, for your introduction. We could see that you have huge and very interesting background. Before I move forward, I want to just say my solidarity to the Palestinian people.
Thank you very much, sir.
So I want to say, maybe I don't know if I can pronounce this well, but I will say it in. I used to have a Palestinian friend, Anna Diemi Filistini.
Thank you very much.
All of us, actually, all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we say solidarity to you on behalf of everyone, Amma, and to all the Palestinians out there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Ms. Paulette, can you just give a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay. Good day, my friend. I'm a lecturer. My name is Paulette Waila Usaga. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a master's student from Geleshi University on Economic and Finance. A graduate from School of Health Technology, Benin City, Edo State, from Nigeria, where I studied, got my first degree, EHO, fully known as Environmental Health Officer, a licensed Environmental Health Officer. For now, that's all I can say. So I'm still trying to get more title or more degree to my degree.
Inshallah,
so thank you very much. Nice seeing you guys again. Nice meeting you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Paulette. We can also see that you have very interesting background as a health officer. So it's very interesting that you're a health officer, and definitely I know you've been learning your hand in this period of pandemic. I know that even for our followers, for our friends, we'll definitely have a level of information and benefit from your wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Paulette. He's the man in the house. So,
hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Andrew. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here with you, Mr. Andrew, and the other friends, Amal and Paulette. Actually, before I introduce myself, I just wanted to mention something that you are saying we are friends. This from your goodness. Actually, you are our teacher, our professor. So thank you. And thank you for your audience and your flowers in your channel, and especially for those who gonna pick like and subscribe. Okay, now I'm introducing myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm Osama Mahmoud Al-Maliki. I am a journalist. I have been working in television press since the Arab Spring. So it's like 10 years, almost 10 years now, more than 10 years. I have been working as a journalist, and I had my own political program show as an announcer, I mean broadcaster. Yeah, I'm still working as a producer for documentaries, especially political documentaries. So all my life is involved with political issues. And because of that, I enrolled myself in Gilisham Master Program of Economics and Finance, as well as my other friends. And it was a big chance and opportunity, a good opportunity actually, to study with Mr. Andro a political economy. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aman, for this wonderful and interesting background that you just given. It's so interesting for, I guess, my viewer will be so much interesting to hear from you all, knowing fully well that you have a diverse background from pharmacy to health officer to journalism or journalist. That is very, very wonderful. And I really want to appreciate you for sparing your time. I know it's not easy, and it is the moment or period of Ramadan, which I believe you ought need to have your time with your families, with your children, but know fully well that you also want to give your
okay,
own
Mr. Andrew,
quota.
anytime you want.
Yeah, thank you. I do really appreciate that for sparing your time. Yes. So, and what we'll be discussing is a topic that I consider very interesting, which I believe will be useful, especially to students and potential prospective students across the globe. And how do we come about this study? It's just an inspiration that we got from especially the classroom. Knowing well that in the classroom, you could have a class comprising of about maybe 50 students or 20 students. And you find maybe only 1% of these students out of 50, you could find maybe only 5 of these students are willing to participate in class activities. Even most of the time, students find it difficult to restrain themselves to speak in class time. And so I think it will be very interesting for us to discuss, okay, on the topic that I really want to tie to the student participation in classroom. So we'll be talking about student participation in the classroom. So, and to start with, I think it's good to have a foundation talk on this. And that means that we will be looking at the importance of students' activities or student active participation in the classroom. So the question I want to ask is it that so much important that students should actively participate in the classroom, or how important is it for students to participate in the classroom? Do we consider it something that is important to education system? How important it is? And I think we can all talk about this, okay? So, and maybe I should just give a perspective of my own view about that. Because I also I came from the background, or I'm one of those students, okay, that used to be timid in the classroom. I used to be very shy. So I'm one of those students who really talk in the classroom, who really participate in the classroom. So, and now that I'm a teacher, now that I'm a professor in the classroom, I'm always looking forward to see my students participate in the classroom. So, and whenever I see any student who participates, who contributes, you know, who want to raise an opinion or a suggestion or question, I'm always interested about that. I always want to give attention to those students. So, and I consider that so important. So I want to know about our own perception about this. I don't know if Mr. Osama would be willing to to lead us in the first talk on that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again. As you mentioned before about your personality, I think it is a good start to start from that topic. From my opinion, I think the personalities of the students is differ from each other. So as you mentioned, you were shy, sorry, and you were timid, but eventually you became a lecturer and a professor, and we are your student now. So you survived. It is a good message for others. So the personality is the first main things that we can talk about during the discussion about participation and active participation, actually. We can also, I mean, I don't want to talk to only from my experience, but I used to be a student, and I'm still giving TV programs. So I think I have two perspectives from two different sides. As a TV program introducer, I always like struggle with this problem. Why others don't interact with me? Why in sometimes I don't receive a feedback? Am I talking like in
Yes.
air? No one cares. Am I talking with some topics that no one interested in?
Yeah.
And from year by year, I experienced some of knowledge, actually.
Yes.
It is sometimes it is related to the topic. So I mean, during the study in university, some topics, even some courses, actually, are not allowed you to interact. It is topics like, I don't know what they call it, but it is not that kind of topics that you need to interact with it. If you are willing to interact, there is nothing to talk about in this topic. Yes. So you just like pass the time and
Yes.
wait to the end of the session or the lecture. I think the personality and the topic, and I can mention also from the other side. I mean, on the other hand, from the
Yes.
students'
Yes.
perspective,
Yes.
some students are willing to participate, and the others are not. Okay,
Yes.
and I would like to mention something I think is crucial while we are talking about this. You know, most of us, actually all of us, are not, I mean, native English. I mean, we have limitations. We have, some of us have good English experience.
Yeah.
We are talking in English in some ways. We have mistakes, but I mean, the others don't have the encouragement to
The
speak in
courage.
English. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we are not native. We are not native.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the situation. I think that is a good factor to mention here while we are talking about these factors that affecting the participation of the students. I'm gonna stop here and give the chance to my colleagues here.
Okay. So I think Amma would like to say something, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree totally with what Usama said, actually. The personality plays a very big role in this. But what really affects me more, actually, I'm talking about myself, is the
Yes.
personality of the instructor himself or herself. Is he willing to give me a chance to talk? If I even talked, if I made a mistake, for example, while I'm talking, is he gonna pick up on me? Is he gonna respect and just let me know what did I say wrong? And I think because most of us, or of the students generally, are shy and they are afraid I might say something which will be mistaken, and everybody will see that I am not following good. I don't have this good background. I don't know what I'm talking about, as they say. That's why they doesn't participate. But especially for Arabs, actually, because Arabic people generally, they doesn't like to show anybody that, no, I don't understand what are you talking about. No, I don't have this background. No, I just made a mistake. Nobody wants to show others that he has made a mistake or he is saying something. Maybe it is not completely right. Other thing also is that some professors, as I said, they pick on somebody. They keep saying that, as he said, no, he was wrong. This is the blah, 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 blah. This will, most of us doesn't know each other personally because we are studying online. So this is gonna be very embarrassing for any of us to have such a situation. I don't know you personally, but at the same time, I know that you don't have a background. You are whatever you are saying, nobody is interesting, or somebody is keep picking on you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some professors do have this problem actually. So
Mhm.
I think the main problem is in the professor.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, really. So this is, it is not good for people's ego, as they say.
Yeah, that is quite understandable enough from your perspective and from Osama's perspective as well. Yes, it is true. So, so that's so interesting to hear those two perspectives from Osama and Aman. A very lovely one. So we are moving on. We are moving on. We are getting closer to the core of this issue. So let's have Paulette's own side of this discussion.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, I
Yes.
think both of them have a very big role to play. The student and the lecturer has a very big role to play, due to the fact that the students, it's not, you can't just leave everything for the lecturer to do as well. You have to understand the fact that the students are your friends in the first place. So in that environment, when you create that kind of friendship environment, the students can be able to relate with you, can be able to participate in everything you do in class. Also, for the students, your lecturer becoming your friend does not give you the room as well to underestimate the activity in class. This, I think, that relationship, if the relationship is there and you understand your student and your students as well understand you, the classroom will be very, very, it will be a very enjoyable place to learn.
Mhm. That is very, very,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Paulette. That is so interesting. And I think from the discussion we just had now, one of the vital things I want to pick is about, you all mentioned the students and teacher or professor's relationship. So, and I think that is very, very important. So it's so important that, uh, especially from the teacher side or from the professor side, that relationship is cultivated into a healthy one, a relationship that is like a friendship form of relationship. And that just remind me of my own personal experience, which I want to share. And I remember when I was in high school, in my high school, especially in the junior high school, in the junior high school, we used to have a mathematics teacher. So, so the mathematics teacher used to be very, very brutal, very, very brutal. So when I say brutal, he will always want to sneak into the class, especially when we are not prepared. I mean, that is always his intention, to get us unprepared. So whenever he sneaks into the class, most of the time the class is rowdy, we are making noise, we are jumping up and down. So when he sneaks in, and because he's mathematics teacher, what he would do is to pick at you at random and ask you a multiplication question. For instance, he call on you, he said, for instance, Paulette, maybe 5 times 5. And he expect that you should give answer or the response to that question within a second. So, and if you're unable to do that, he will say, please remain standing. But if you are fortunate to provide answer to that, he will ask you to sit. So for those of you that are standing, at the end of it, he's going to beat hell out of you. Okay, so then when I was in high school in the junior class, I couldn't even comprehend that attitude. And one of the things is that at the time with my friend, we always try to sneak out. We always tried even to avoid the class, not to attend the class. So now that you talk about the issue of relationship between teachers and students or professor and student, that reminds me of those period in my time. And do you know, because of that, I actually hated mathematics. In my junior class, mathematics was my nightmare. So not until when I graduated to the high the senior level in the highest high school, that I was able to gain back my confidence in mathematics, because we had a new teacher, very, almost opposite of what we used to have in the junior class. And today I can proudly say that mathematics is my favorite course. So you could imagine if I had had that same teacher all through my high school, it means mathematics will remain my nightmare. So I really support what you just mentioned in the part of relationship. So it should be a healthy one. It should be kind of a friend form of relationship, so that the student will have that boldness, that confidence, to approach you and able to ask you questions and to participate in the class. So really, I really understand that. Thank you so much for that interaction. So now that we talk about the part of the student, I think, yes. Osama, you want to make a contribution to that?
Yeah, I would like actually, since the discussion is still open,
yes.
I would like to share 2 points here.
Okay.
The first one is that my friends already mentioned it, but I would like to focus on it like intentionally. The current education system, I mean online during the pandemic, it's a very, very crucial reason and factor affecting participation. We don't have that kind of interaction, human interaction, face-to-face interaction. We don't know you as professors like personally. We don't know the others. We don't know even ourselves as students. The last time I was student sitting in a class, it was like before 11 years ago. Like before, my experience of being student is too absolute, So I lost that experience. I lost that kind of sense, interaction with others. Even though I'm like struggling with that now.
I'm lifetime or something.
Yes. The online teaching is giving us a hard time, really. This the first thing. Now the second point I would like to mention here, which is I hesitated before mentioning it, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm not specialized in this part of topic. But this just comes to my mind right now. I think the system itself, the education system itself, it doesn't always encourage us to interact with each other. We know that there is main schools in teaching, like British schools, American schools, like Asian schools, but all of these systems education, I think, I'm not sure, it comes from the allow me to say it, but from the religion side. We grew up as Muslims or Christians mainly, okay? We have that ceremonies. We went to churches or the mosques, masjids, okay? We used to be silent in these places, for worship places. The priest or the imam in Islam or in Christian, they are talking and we are supposed not to speak, not to interact.
We are on the receiver end, as they say.
Yeah, only receivers. Exactly. Exactly. Only receivers. Even we would, that would be like a sin, a problem, something you have to be afraid of to speak during the speech, the religious speech. So I think that historically is that also affecting us and affecting the system of education itself. I think it's a good point to mention here, because we talk it, this education as it is, and we just the human just trying to develop a system. The pandemic comes again, and we are sitting and sitting there and just listening. So that's also a point I was willing to mention here.
Thank you so much, Osama, for that additional contribution. Yes, why you made that contribution in the first one you mentioned, you talk about in this pandemic period that there is no this physical interaction between students and teachers or professors, and that also reminds me that we need to discuss on another issue here, which is about student-to-student interaction. Okay, because it's good we talk about student active participation in the classroom and what are the factors that are responsible, which we're able to figure out that we have the student factors, then we have the teachers or professors factors. Okay, so I want to believe also that if students will participate actively in the classroom, I think there is a factor also of student to students. So how can we bring this? Okay, how do student to student interaction affect their participation in the classroom? Or in the first place, do we think it's important that students should also interact among themselves? Do we think? And if we think is also good, how can students interact among themselves? Okay, and how important is it in the education system? Or let's talk about student-to-student interaction. Okay, so and who is going to lead us in this first interaction?
I think Amal. She's specialized
okay.
with the interaction with others.
We are all voting for Amal. You know why we need to vote, Amal? You know why we are voting for you?
Yeah.
Because I happen to have this experience with you in the two courses. Okay, in the two courses, you are always acting like the mother of the class. So it means that somehow you have good relationship with your co-students. You interact with them. You interact with them. So I think you find this very important, I guess. So we need to hear from you. We need to hear from you.
You made me feel like I am 50 or 60 years old. Thank you very much, sir. Anyhow. Student-to-student interaction is very, very important. Especially for me. Actually, I didn't attend any class at Gresham University. I was enrolled in these courses just when the pandemic started. My first, my colleagues, they know, most of them, they know each other already because I think they attended 4 or 5 classes at the university before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
But for me, when I was enrolled in on 19th of March, when the lockdown in Turkey started, actually. So all my courses were online. I didn't meet anybody face to face. It was very important to me to start knowing the people I am studying with, actually. Of course, face-to-face interaction is much better than through WhatsApp or meetings or whatever it is.
Yes.
But for my personality, I like very much to interact with everybody to just know how people are thinking. It's very important to me to meet new cultures, to see how people are interacting with each other. Yeah. Actually, sometimes I connect some people together when they are from the same culture, or I try my best, actually. Osama knows that. I don't know if this is good or bad, but it is very important. You cannot be studying with like 100 or 150 persons in the same courses. You see their names every day. You see them writing stuff, and you don't just know these persons. I know the back. Sometimes you don't know all the background of these persons. I'm not that. I don't like to ask a lot of questions, actually. But if somebody needs help in anything, I will never say no, as long as I can do that. Yes. Sometimes I need help myself. I wouldn't be shy to ask somebody for something, because usually I help everybody. So it is very important for communication. This is a kind of communication, because through this pandemic, I think a lot of people are feeling so lonely, actually.
Yes.
It's really good at least to say, good morning, how are you doing? How was your day? Yeah. Some people doesn't have anybody to ask about them. And most of us are living in Turkey, and some of us are away from our families. And at the same time, when you have this student-to-student interaction away in the classroom, it makes the courses even lighter for everybody. Yes, I'm going to classroom. I will be seeing Mr. Andrew today. I will be seeing Dr. Julia today. I will be interacting with Bullet. I will be interacting with Osama. Maybe he will say something. I will just replay him. It's very important. With such a pandemic, this is really psychologically very important for me.
Allow me to
I
speak
do
here, Amal. I
know.
think,
Yes.
I think it's
This is how I see it, actually.
yeah, I totally agree with what we were talking about. And I can add here, allow me to add here. It's something coming from you, from inside you. Okay,
Yes,
you
this is
like to be that kind of person, not for any reasons. We don't want, and we don't need any reasons, because
Yes.
you know you are doing more than that. According to our topic of the participation,
Yes.
Amal sometimes is calling me, what are you what are you needing from me right now, Amal? She said, there is a new student. He's recently enrolled in the, and you can
The
help him
course.
since you know the systems. You know, she's doing more than that. The participation is this that leads us to the first point, the
Yes.
personality. The
Yes.
personality of Amal is like that. It's a
Mm.
good thing, and it is. I think, Mr. Andro, I
Yes.
think she is a very good indicator that the earth is still good and the life is still good, and yeah, stay here, the good people still exist, you know.
She's like the hope. She's like hope.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm the new
she's
Mother
also,
Teresa.
yeah, no, you are also encourage provoke the others to participate
To
during the
participate.
lectures.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is related to our topic. When
Yes.
some friends are interact and participate with the, with the lecturer, the others will try to do the same thing as well.
The same.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, yeah, I think Mr. Andrew is a good example of that. You know, I know from all courses we have 2 or 3 students. They are always participate. They are always contribute.
Yes.
Mr. Andrew could actually extend the circle of the
Yes.
participation. Now we are more than 3, 4, 5. We
Yeah.
hear some names, other names, maybe for once, for twice, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think I would like to add a point here out of the topic of Amal. It's something new, which is I can call it the candy system. You know, I still remember that kind of teachers in the middle school or elementary or high school
Yes.
who always has or had his way of teaching, who
Yes.
has a candy. You know, candy, the children that like.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Yes.
Who is willing to participate, who's willing to answer this question, who gonna has are gonna have this
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 candy.
candy.
Yes.
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 I know we are not children anymore, and
Yes.
we are not in the high school or in middle school. We are graduate students, master
Yes.
students.
Yes.
But think about it. Imagine if you are a lecturer,
Yes.
if you are a professor,
Yes.
and you have a grades in your hand.
Yes.
Who is willing to participate to answer this question? I'm gonna give him this 1 grade from the final grade.
Yes.
I'm gonna give him
1
2.
point. Yes.
Yes, 1 point, 3 points.
Yes.
It's a good. We are studying economics actually, which
Yes.
is something we have to focus on it. Yes, something candy. Yeah, give us the system itself. I'm coming back to the same topic. If the
Yes.
system encourage us, like participate, and you, what is my benefit from participation?
Yes.
What
Yes.
can I get from participation? For me, for example, at the first lecture, if you still remember, Amal, I told you that I'm gonna have Mr. Andrew's attention. You still,
Yes,
yeah?
I remember.
That was a benefit. I'm honestly speaking. It's no shame. Okay. What about the others? What are they benefits from participation?
Yes.
They don't have any benefit. The outline, the syllable of the grades in the course is very clear. 30%,
Yes.
60%, 10%. No need for participation. Why I'm bothering myself?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm speaking on behalf of the other
That-
students.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is actually true. Very, very, very interesting. You know, I'm going to add one other dimension. We didn't mention this. I will
Yes.
say this from the part of the teacher, from the part of the professor. For instance, the first time I taught political economy, political economy for political science students, political economics for economic students. So first time I taught this course, okay, because that is not my core area of interest. So I needed to read more, I needed to learn more, because there are so many theories in this particular course, so many theories. So some of these theories, I'm not quite familiar with some of these theories. So I have to read very well. I have to learn from the textbook. Do you know, I must confess, I told the class, I said, please, do you know I'm actually learning in this course? But maybe students will not believe it, but that is the fact, really. So for me, that is how important it is, when students participate in the classroom. So for the student to student participation, this is another dimension I want to mention, which I think we should look at. Sometimes the teacher or the professor want the student to participate or to interact among themselves, and thereby try to create group assignments, group presentation. The essence of doing that is to ensure that these students meet among themselves. But another side of it is this, which I would want us to discuss, because I remember also when I was a student, especially the PhD student class, we do always have assignments, very difficult assignments, so to say. So whenever we have very tough assignments, okay, we are good friends among ourselves. So whenever we have tough assignments, so those my friends that are extremely brilliant, smart, they will always find a way to solve the problem. And what we do among ourselves is to copy. We just copy this.
Yeah.
We just copy this, and submit. But what I want to say is that I think in that way, in one side, the student interacts, but when there is a common assignment among students, I think it's good that the students should know that this is an opportunity for them to learn, not only for them to have a grade. So it's good that they are able to solve the questions among themselves, participate among themselves, but not only just to copy, the answers to those questions, and not learning, So one side is good to interact, create that atmosphere of learning among themselves, solving the problem among themselves, understanding the solution, and before proceeding to submit whatever task that it has been given. I think that is also very necessary, I think.
Yes, it is. And I just add something, if you don't mind. It is the same. It goes back to the personality. Do I want to study or do I want to pass? Do I want to know or do I want just to pass? It goes back to the study for the personality for the students. That's the problem. And some of us, we want to learn, and the others, we just want to take it the easiest way and just pass. This is the point. This is the problem when you have a group of especially when you have groups which not among ourselves. You will not ask me, Amal, just do a group out of 5 of another 4 students. You have to be 5 and find and finish this assignment. If I am the one responsible, I will ask some people who I know that they will work with me.
Yeah, that reminds me of a lecturer, a professor, a very respected professor, who forced us to work with others. With other names that we are not willing to work with. No, we don't want to mention his name.
Especially when working with some other people, I think language is also a barrier when it comes to group work.
Group work
too.
Yes.
Yeah, and most of them, when you pick yourself as a leader, I want to do this, they have to leave everything and they say, okay, do it since you are the leader.
Yeah.
And whenever you're giving them tasks, whenever you're giving them tasks to do, they'll also bring back the task to you.
Yes.
Whenever you're giving that, this is what you're supposed to do, they'll bring it back to you to do it.
You
are the leader, you're doing more work.
And finish it.
Yes, what
you're doing more work
right now,
and you're getting the same score. You're getting the same marks for it. Do you understand?
What you are doing right now, from the beginning, we are giving the responsibility of the professors. Now you switch the topic to the students. So Mr. Andrew just make his hands like that.
Yes.
It's your problem, students. It's your problem, not mine.
That's true.
Yeah. But when if we are going to contribute the responsibility, actually we have responsibility as students. Okay, as students we have responsibility, and as professors, and as system, as the educations, institutions. But since here we are studying economics and finance, especially this major. We are the consumers, we are the customers. So yes, yeah. So I think we have a responsibility, but no one gonna ask us to give account for this. No, the responsibility is on you. I mean, the university, yes, the management, the staff, yeah, the institution. They are responsible for doing more efforts during this interaction. You know, as Amal mentioned before, some students just want to pass. A lot of them actually. It's our friends.
Especially this period. Especially this period.
Yes. And as well as some lecturers, some professors. So, but if we are in a situation, we have to judge which one is more responsible. I mean, I would put the institution management in the first place, then the professors, because the professors also, they are building a career for themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
So, let me share this experience with you. Some of my citizens, it's a Yemeni guy. He's recently enrolled in a university. He asked me to help him out with choosing the courses. Okay, I think most of us, when you are in a situation, this someone like ask you to advise which course he is going to choose, we are focusing on the lecturer, not on the topic. Not in the course.
Yes, exactly.
Did you know that, Mr. Andrew? Yes. Choose the professor, blah blah blah, because he's good. He's allow you to participate. That's it.
This period, most of the students are just willing to pass and get good grades. Because they're not even interested in whatever is happening in the class anymore. Some of them can just log in and go out, and yes, the system will just be there. Just for them to
please,
just for the system to show
our plans. Don't expose our secrets. They don't know that.
most of the lecturers are aware of this. They understand.
Yeah, we are aware.
They know.
Most of the lecturers
I was
aware.
just kidding. Yeah,
they're aware, but they don't know how we are doing
system. Because this online system is already a fucked up when it comes to learning.
Learning.
Do you understand? Yes. When you are in school, you can interact with your co-student. Oh, I don't understand what he's trying to say in class. Then your co-student can tell you, oh, he said this, he said that. You understand? And you can relate and continue from there in class. But after the class, and for you to call your co-student and tell, Amma, I didn't understand the calculation, please. Sometimes you feel reluctant. You don't want to ask. You just feel, you just want to sleep, and you just forget about the topic. Before you know, you have a lot of topic pile up. For you to. So laziness is already a problem in this system. It's already a big problem.
Let me add a point here.
Yes.
I think we are studying a master program. We are mature enough, we are adult enough to know the person who is in front of us. I mean, especially the professors. The enthusiasm of the professors is clear to us. As persons, we know who is understanding the course he's teaching, and who is not understanding it. So I mean, yes. When I feel a lecturer is modest, is humble, to ask us to contribute, like Mr. Andrew now, he's telling I didn't know things, and one of the students was knowing more than me. It's okay. Just share the thoughts with me. Me as student, when I have this feeling, the lecturer is very modest, very humble to hear, to listen to me. Okay, I would be more than grateful to share my thoughts.
There is one thing, I guess, maybe I need to add, which I think that in any which way, either from the part of the students or from the part of the teacher or the professors, I guess there will always be some set of students who would not want to participate, either whatever the situation may be, they wouldn't want to participate. So I guess it's for such students, there is little anyone can do, either their colleagues, their friends, or the professor. So, but generally speaking, like we have just said, I guess it's good from both sides, you know, to those factors of students and the factors of professors are worked on, such as to make the class very interesting. So one last thing that I want us to talk about, one last thing before we end the interactive section. Now, we've spoken from the perspective of the student. You've all spoken as a student, for instance. Now, let's turn the table. We need to turn, Ama, we need to turn the table. Osama, Paulette, we need to turn the table now. Now, let's turn the table. Now, assuming you are all professors, okay, or you are teachers in higher institutions, and you have your students, okay? Now, I would actually want each of you to speak out your mind, okay? How do you want to motivate? How do you want to encourage your students to participate in the class? What do you think you can do? I will give this personal experience about myself. I remember also, I will just give the last, just not quite long ago, during my PhD program, okay? You know, PhD is not so easy program. I don't want to say it's difficult for those who will be watching the program, you know, so that they will not get discouraged, okay? So PhD is not difficult.
It's not easy.
But it's not so easy. It needs motivation, especially personal motivation and conviction. And one of the things about PhD is this, which I will always tell everyone. If you have a supervisor that is, if you have a supervisor that will be a challenge or that you don't understand each other, that is the beginning of that student's problem. So, so in a PhD program, the choice of supervision is very important. So whoever you are choosing as a supervisor is very important, because I've seen friends, I've also read stories when even students don't find their supervisors so welcoming. Their supervisors are not even always available to answer their question, to listen to them. So that could be challenging or not. But for me, I want to say this personally. From my high school, my bachelor program also, I think I've always been very fortunate, very, very fortunate. I was supervised by the chair of the department. Yes. So, and sincerely speaking, before I selected him as my supervisor, everyone was saying, he's the chair of the department, he's a very difficult person, he wants you to know everything, blah, 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 blah. So, but somehow, I wanted to select someone else, but I was unable, that teacher wasn't available, that professor wasn't available. So the only available professor was the chair of the department. So I didn't have much choice. I selected him. And do you know what? He gave me no stress. Also, my master supervisor, the same thing. I was so free with him. And lastly, my PhD supervisor. I was very fortunate also. My PhD supervisor was, he is currently the chair. He was the chair, and he's also the chair of the department. So he's well-learned, very, very experienced professor. I think I should mention his name to give credit to him in this case. He's Professor Mehmet Bachila. He's one of the best econometricians in the world, one of the best in the world. In Turkey here is probably the best in econometrics. So, and he supervised me and a couple of my friends as well. And one of the things we cannot take away from him is that if we send email to meet with him, for instance, you try to meet with him to discuss about your thesis, about what you are doing, he will always give you an appointment. His door is always open, at least, to his students. So
he's always available.
Always available, really, always available. If we send, if we just communicate with him and say, oh, you need to have this discussion with him, he's going to give you that audience. So for me, I really appreciated that a lot. And that is why I was able to finish my PhD in record time. Okay, I've seen people who were in the PhD program for 10 years, for 6 years, more about. So, and because he was always available to help, we were able to. So I guess also from the aspect of the teacher, I want every one of you to speak now as a professor. What will you do to motivate your student? For instance, my supervisor motivated me in that aspect. And that is why I see myself, if I want to supervise any student, I will always try to make myself available. So now, as a professor, how do you motivate your student in the classroom? What do you think you should do if you are a professor? How do you motivate? How do you make them participate? How do you make them to be very active in the classroom? Now you need to speak as a professor now.
Professor.
Yes. So I will say now, Professor Ama, you need to speak to us.
Okay, actually, I had an idea which has been on my mind from the beginning of the semester, but I don't know if this is allowed actually to be added in the curriculum in the university or not. For example, if I am a lecturer, I will, okay, let's talk about, and we are teaching a course, okay?
Yes.
So the topics in the course, they are not all important for all the students. For sure, something is important for me and somebody else, he sees this as a nonsense for him or for her.
Yes.
So most of the students, they will participate if we are talking about something which is interested for, not we will say, of course, it will not be interested for all, but if we make a poll, for example, about 4 or 5 topics.
Yes.
Okay, the lecturer will make a poll about 4 or 5 topics in the course, okay, for all the students to participate. Everybody has to go inside this link and choose one topic out of this. After we finish, for example, if you got 2 topics with 35, 45 or 50%, for example, choose, okay, the lecturer will be willing to invite a guest from outside, somebody he can communicate with.
Yes.
He will be a guest, for example, and all students who are interested in this, they have to come to this Zoom meeting and they will be free to ask this person who is a specialist in this field, as they say,
yes,
questions, and the lecturer himself will be an audience. He will not be the one to organize this. This is going to be between the visitor,
yes,
and the guest and the students. This is going to be very interesting. And after all this, the meeting,
yes,
the lecturer will be responsible for arranging this again in the student, for in the class. We have done this and this and this question. He will give a summary for this meeting for the others. I think this is going to be very, most of the students will participate in such a thing. It's going to be very interesting for them. For example, if once a month we will have a session like this.
Yes.
Okay, we are like 50 students in this course.
Yes.
If once a month, 25 or 30 students will attend this, you will get everybody participating. If they participate in the Zoom meeting, maybe they will think that, yes, this was good, I will attend the other one. I think, because if the personalities and of the interests of people, you can never satisfy everybody, as they say, but you can try at least to collect people with this, and the persons who will attend this Zoom meeting, they will know each other. I know that Mr. Andrew, Osama, and Paulette, all of these guys, they are interested in the same topic. I will start to have communication with them. I think this is going to be very very good for everybody. I don't know. This is actually an idea. I don't know if we can even do this or not.
Okay, thank you, Professor Alma. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So let's hear from Professor Paulette. So the table is turned now.
Alma, thank you for that. My own contribution is that, first of all, as a lecturer, you have to create a lovely environment for the student. A lovely environment for the student to learn. Because without that, I think the student will not find your class interesting. And so they will not be able to participate in whatever you're going to do. So, and also you have to, as a lecturer, you have to understand the fact that you have to be creative. Like in every courses you're giving, you have to be creative. I was once a teacher. Actually, during my process of teaching, I understand the fact that students, we like when we use objects to teach. Because with that, even if you can forget every other thing, you cannot forget the object.
Yeah.
So with the object, students can also remember, can always remember what you're trying to teach in class, and they can be able to catch up from there. And when you are creative as a lecturer or as a professor, oh, this was the last lecture, not just bring up write up. And most of the students are always lazy to read.
Yes.
Yes.
They are always lazy to read. They prefer you using objects to teach. When the lecturer or professor are always introducing things, and the class is always lovable, and there's a interaction between them, I think the student will want to learn. That is another one. Also, you have to, as a professor, when you also make the students, but in that place, not all students. Some are still very stubborn. If they want
Adamant,
to
yeah.
learn, they want to.
Yeah.
If they don't want to, they don't want to.
Yeah.
Do you understand? In that case, you can introduce their own friend. What I do then, I make some of the children don't want to learn because of that. They'll tell me, "Oh, I don't want to." You can't force them. What I do is that I go close to their friend, their kind of best friend. I use their friend to teach them. Then their friend can tell them, "Oh, teacher policy is nice. You have to follow up." You see those students coming close because of their friend too.
Their friends.
Understand? And kind of lecturer, your kind of words you use in class is also important.
That is very important.
Words you use when talking to students is important, and you have to understand the level of your student. If their level is high or is low, you have to understand the level of the students so you can build on that level. If you are high and your student is low, and it's going to be difficult to meet you. So in that aspect, you have to understand the level of your student, why you as a professor has to grow and help them come to your standard. So in the aspect of rewarding mark to students is also an important part in classroom. Like I said before, most of this system is already a setback, and most of the students are not willing to learn. They are just willing to pass. But whenever you set up go and target and tell them, "Oh, if you come to my class or you participate, or each class you give them a task to do," we have a very big role when it comes to teaching as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Paulette, for that contribution. I think she actually mentioned this aspect that we didn't mention before, the attitude, I mean, the mannerism of teachers and professors in the class. This is very important. The way they speak, the type of word they use in the classroom. This is very important because the psychology of the students are not the same. For instance, if you happen to say to a particular student that, "Why do you behave so lazy? Why do you behave so lazy?" A particular student can just ignore that, but some students might not find that so interesting. So thank you, Paulette, for that very, very remarkable observation. So let's turn finally now to Professor Osama. So as a professor, as a teacher in the classroom, how do you motivate your students? How do you encourage them to participate in the classroom?
Okay, we as professors, we are thinking, no. Not that much. I'm exaggerating, I think.
Okay. That's lovely. That's lovely.
Okay. I think, since we are running of time, I'm gonna summarize my points.
Yes.
Okay. If I put myself in a professor's shoes. Okay.
Yes.
Let's imagine. Actually, honestly,
yes.
I'm intending to be a professor one day because I'm continue my studying PhD. Yes, I have the willingness of that.
Inshallah, inshallah.
So I think the first point I would mention here is how to know your students. Yeah, they are graduate students, they are undergraduate students, they are from different cultures. For example, no one asked us about why are you studying this major? Why are you studying economics? What do you want to be after graduating from this, after finishing this course? So no one tried to I mean, this is what I'm going to focus on.
To communicate with us.
Communicate with us. I mean, the inner communication from inside you, like from which background you came. Okay, what is your goal? Okay, that would like make a good communication, good relation, good link with between each other, between the professor and the student. Of course, I would be focusing on the candy system, the rewarding points, as I mentioned to you earlier.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, our friend Paulette, she was a teacher, so she's the techniques like competitions, like activities. But before that, know your students. I will never accept a professor dealing with me as a child. I'm a graduate student, I'm a master student. So please respect the situation that we are in. And that leads us to a point actually. If you are a teacher, a professor, and you are a human, don't forget that. You have mistakes.
Yes.
You have mistakes. You have own weaknesses. Okay. Just admit them. You will not lose respect from students.
The reputation.
No. Yes. No. There is no chance to be there. We are adult enough. We are not in elementary school, so we know you have your own limitations, even in English, even like others. So we have on our own problems and our own limitations. Just admit them and ask for help. And I think some of techniques to call their names. Actually, I have experienced something like that. When you call names, you draw attention. Okay. Yeah. When you call the names of the others and try to ask them some like slight questions. Where are you from? Oh, you are from the country. That would like draw their attention to you. And you make them concerned in that talk that you are talking about. Okay. The last thing I would like to mention here is try to guide them in their personal issues. Like for example, we are studying in a master program. Okay. Imagine if you are a professor of any topic. Try to ask the other, what are you intent, the student, what are you intent to write your thesis in? Okay. So, okay, I would recommend you to connect with that link, with that person. I would recommend you to that. Don't do that. Save your time. Don't lose yourself in matters. Okay, that would make a really good connection, and that would affect his or her participation during the class. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Really, I so much love this section, this interactive section. I'm happy that we're able to bear our minds, we're able to explain or try to give our experiences on our activities in the classroom. I look forward to have all our education system in that way. I know it's very difficult to achieve. It's very difficult to achieve, but I believe that if every one of us, both as teachers or professors and students especially, we do what we are supposed to do, what we are meant to do, definitely we're going to have a very lovable, according to Paulette, a very lovable classroom. And when you have a very lovable classroom, I guess it makes the job easy for everyone. Make it easy for the professor, make it easy for the student as well. So, and on this note, I want to say thank you so much for your participation in this interactive section. Firstly, to Ms. Ama.
Thank you for having
us.
It
was really our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Osama, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Paulette. Thank you so much for creating your time. Sorry for taking much of your time.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Thank you so much. And to my friends out there that will watch the video, please, what we're trying to do in this interactive session is just to create awareness on what we do experience in our classroom and how we can improve our classroom activities and student participation in the class, which we think in most cases, it has student participation in the classroom has not been encouraging. We believe that if we have an active class where the students are given priority, they are given attention, definitely things going to work in a very good way. And we're going to have very lovable classroom. So for everyone who will watch the video, try as much as possible also to share and pass the video across to your friends.
Yes, allow me to speak directly to your audience. Please
Okay,
like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
This is a very good channel of Mr. Zango.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We hope that everyone
Right.
will share the video, and the information
Sure.
we have in the section will be passed across to all parts of the world, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.